Hello MTV and welcome to my crib.
This is where the magic happens. Welcome to another beautiful day to install our second vent fan. We've installed the first one in the rear, and here's the second location for the next install. And we're just gonna run through what tools we need to do everything. We'll go from left to right, starting with the vent fan. So we went with two Maxx Air Fans. We went ahead and ordered the adapter plate from eBay. They're carved out with these little grooves, one here and along the edge. So what that does is it allows the vent fan to sit flush to the top of the van without having to use a bunch of layers of butyl tape. It does come with 4 screws. If you want to spend the extra, if you're doing 2 fans, it's going to be roughly 120, 130 bucks. You need a caulk gun. Let's talk about our sealants. We used a marine grade adhesive for the first install, which worked just fine, but I had another can of window weld that was left over. We'll adhere the adapter to the plate or to the van with the 3M window weld. We'll use our leftover primer, 3M primer that came with it as well. We've got Rust-Oleum to protect our raw paint, measuring tape, blue tape. We do need a metal file. We are still cutting holes in the van with a jigsaw, your basic drill, a garbage bag to catch our metal shavings. And importantly, if you can find some pieces of wood, this is some scrap wood I had. This sits inside here, so imagine it's on top of the roof, and we're gonna glue it down. You'll catch the inside of the van here, and then it gives you a nice even spread of pressure along the sides of the flange. So that's what we used on the first one. It went well. Everything's watertight. Everything works well. So that's pretty much everything else. Any questions? You good?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm great.
Okay. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so before we do anything, before we get up top and tape our that little gray adapter down, we're gonna measure, because what we don't want to do is cut into these beams. So here's our spot that we know the plate is gonna sit in, and the adapter of the fan. It is exactly 17 7/8, pretty much 9 inches would just about be your on center right here. So we'll measure up top before we tape down and trace our square. So let's get up there. We'll tape our adapter and we'll measure everything out. Okay, so if you look at your adapter plate, if you do decide to go with this, you'll see there's just a slight groove cut out here and here. And what that's gonna do is pretty much sit right at the end, or right at the base of these 2 ribs here in the van. And it pretty much just sits right in, and you can measure from there. We said 9 inches pretty much is like center. That's plenty of room. So you don't cut into the rib of that van. About right. So you should have plenty of room. That's why these are almost like a little cheat system. It sits into place, and then you just draw your outline and start cutting. Should be good. Okay, so the adapter plate is in place. We have it blue taped down. Run through it a couple times so we get a nice clear line. What we're gonna do next, we're gonna take our drill bit. We are going to...
Wait, what are you doing with that? Making your first hole?
Yeah, so we're gonna...
So you have a place to start.
We're gonna drill holes in the 4 corners. Give us an easy turn radius or your starting point. Let's go ahead and get ready to prep the bottom for metal shavings, and let's get to it. When you're taping up your garbage bag, leave it, let it hang down. If you do too tight up there, it's going to, you're probably gonna cut through it with your metal blade. So just let it hang a little bit. So we just tape the outside edge. If you're using this adapter, you'll find your spot, right? And just tape a square on the outside so you can protect the paint. Also, once we apply this 3M window weld, it gets a little messy, so it'd be an easy just kind of clean up when you peel that tape back off. So next we're going to take our drill bit. We're gonna drill a hole in each 4 corners, and then we'll go ahead and get cutting. Right in the corner, right here. 4 corners are drilled. Addie's going to get the vacuum. So I really want to wait for her to get back so I can clean this off right here, because that's gonna go everywhere. We're taped up, we're cleaned. Let's get it going.
I can't let you go, baby. I just wanna tell you that. No, no, no. Yeah. All of my friends say, girl, you better take care, 'cause that man is trouble, you best beware. And though deep down, I know I might be headed for teardrops. Now that you got me started, I just can't stop. No, no. 'Cause I love you, baby. I can't let you go, baby. I gotta tell you that
Can you hand me the blue tape, please, ma'am? This will hold our piece once we get done cutting. It won't fall through the van.
but you might realize I just can't quit you now 'cause I love you. Yes, I do. I can't let you go, baby. I can't let you go, baby. 'Cause I love you.
She's hot. Next part, we'll file our edges down. What I just did off film was put your bracket down, and then also your flange. Make sure it fits in there because you might need to adjust, and that fits in there real snug. That's perfect. We'll file our edges down and go on.
'Cause I love you, baby. No, 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 no. Can't let you go. 'Cause I love you, 'cause I love you, yeah. There was a time I didn't have romance, but
Okay guys, so next we'll, yeah, perfect. We're just essentially gonna scrape up the paint here just a little bit. Actually, I need to probably clean this off first, just because we don't want to have any of those extra shavings hanging around. So we'll scuff this up. So we'll use that primer on top of this. Here's the 3M primer.
Here you go.
Actually, no, I'm tripping. We need to apply our Rust-Oleum. Like that later. All that stuff, etc. So watch down below. I just got some black paint on your leg.
What the heck?
I thought I dripped some down there, just landed or plopped right on her. She didn't even know it either. We're just applying this on. You don't really paint it on. I just kind of dab it on with this applicator. So what we're gonna do to waterproof our flange here is probably just lay some butyl tape all throughout this flange here. You can see it's kind of grooved a little bit. It kind of does help the butyl tape seep to it. We're gonna go ahead and apply this stuff. So hang with me. The next step, we're going to apply the 3M primer all along our edge. We will lay down a layer of window weld, caulk, and apply our adapter. So let's go ahead and apply some of this. The stuff dries fairly quick and doesn't take too much. That looks nice. And what we're gonna do is glue this on. We're also gonna put a bead of window weld across in here in that gap, and also to give it some adhesion, and then we're gonna go ahead and set it in place. Remember those metal adapters go on the outside, so we'll test fit it one more time. Fits in there nice and neat. We'll go ahead and clamp it to the van and let that dry for several hours and come back here. Let's get ready for a good time. Make sure we have our applicator correct. We got our grooves on, facing the same way. Smash that down just a little. Facing just like that. Perfect. It sits in there. Give it a little smash. Oh man, that's gonna be nice. That looks really, really good. All right, we're gonna dry test the fit of the van. You do have to open it up all the way, seat it in nice and neat, slides right into place. This is exactly where it screws into the flange, so you do need to open it up manually, but this is what it looks like when it's open. Take this off.
Drill her in.
We'll do the pilot holes, yeah. Just pre-drill. You can feel underneath it pinch through. Let's get you up here. All right, Ad's gonna come up here and pre-drill the holes for us. Come on. All right.
Bada bing, bada boom.
You did so good.
Hey.
Okay. So now that you have all your screws in, you'll see that butyl tape kind of pop out of the side. Put a little bit of pressure on there and then it'll come right up. Now that we have the bracket properly installed, so make sure that wire is going through the center. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Here it goes.
Now what do you need? Are you gonna drill them?
Now it's in.
Oh, you're just hand tightening those?
Mm-hmm.
Is it time for a marshmallow goop?
Yep.
Oh, babe.
Isn't that just so satisfying?
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Ooh la la.
The fan is sitting and seating actually pretty nice in the van. Or inside from this point of view, it seems to be working just fine. We haven't tested the motor on either one of these yet, but we will. We're gonna go ahead and slap on some lap sealant. Right? Lap sealant is installed, laid in. You can see how it gets messy and it really self-levels down to the surface of the van. That's a wrap pretty much. I'm gonna take everything off the top of the van, clean up the top, check it out from the inside. We'll give it a water test probably.
How are you feeling about the second Maxx Air install? Would you do anything different next time if you were doing it all over again?
Probably not, honestly. Everybody's gonna build their vent fans or install their vent fans a little bit differently, so that's the way we went. And I feel like I would do it again on the next van too.
Let's finish this one.
And that's pretty much it.
Are we done? Anything else you want to say about this Maxx Air install?
No, that's it. Now this flange install is going to be way later down the road, so if I'm adding this video into the actual fan install, just guys bear with me. This is the progress we've made, but I kind of want to add the flange install along with the Maxx Air Fan video because we haven't edited that video yet, we haven't posted it yet, so I think it just makes sense to do it all in one So if things kind of look that way, that's why. First things first, grab your flange. Now they make it this thick because they don't know what kind of sealing you're putting in. You might put a 6-inch sealing in there. You know, we don't know. We don't know what you're gonna do. So they do provide you with 2 flanges with those fans, and they're just quite large, so you can cut them yourself. So I'm gonna show you how we do that. Let's go over here. First things first, since we all have different sealing heights, there's a little method to do this. First thing you're gonna do is take your flange. We're gonna label this side the front, label it back. So therefore when we make our measurements, we know which way we're going. We're just gonna start with the front right. What you're gonna do is you'll put your measuring tape right here on the corner of your flange or your fan, and then measure down to where your sealing is. So that is 2 1/4 inch. 2 1/4 inch on this front side. So we're gonna take this and label it 2 1/4, 2 1/4. We're gonna go back to the back on the driver's side. 2 1/4 again. The front on the passenger side, 2 1/4. We're shaping up to have a pretty square cut, about 2 1/8. Okay. 2 inches and 1/8. So there you have it. 2 1/8 there. You can see my marks. There we go. So now we're gonna add a 1/2 inch to each corner, and we're also going to mark that. Now that's gonna give you room to cover your vent fan and also hide everything and it sit flush. So I got 2 1/4 inch. That's gonna be 2 3/4 inch. 2 3/4, and I'm just gonna connect my three little marks together just as evenly as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is a T-square, and it's also not even a real T-square. It's a sheetrock T-square. Got our line there. We got our line all the way to here, and then all the way to this corner. We're gonna do that 3 more times. All right, so it's test fitted in. It looks good. We'll take this off. I'm gonna clean it, and then we're gonna pre-drill our holes and then screw it in with the screws that provided with the Maxx fan. So let's clean this thing off. How do we look? Here we are. There we have it. And there it is. It looks great. Everything's covered. Everything's clean. These flanges are super simple to put on. They make it easy. Just make your cuts, measure twice, cut once. And if always, just cut a little bit extra if you need to trim some down. That's always fun too. I haven't plugged the fans in yet. I don't have my DC panel set up yet, but soon we will.
Okay fam, so now we are jumping a few weeks later to where we installed a portion of our electrical system just to test the fans to see if they worked.
Moment of truth with the Maxx Air Fan, so let's hit power on. I can feel the air pulling out of the van. Speed is at 50%. Let's raise it up. 60%, 70, 80, it's 100. Man, it's just pulling air. Pretty neat, pretty neat. I'm really happy we put 2 fans in. I'm gonna turn this one off so you guys can hear me. We wanted max flow of air through the van to keep us cool inside the van, vice versa, depending on what climate you're in. But also these bunk windows too, those help a lot. They have screens on them. It does help airflow in and through the cab of the van. Also the little T-vent on the CL Lawrence sliding door also helps a little bit as well. You could crack the front windows too if it's not raining, but overall, really happy with the fans. They look great and they work well as well. That's it. That's all I got, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to please like the video. That does help us out tremendously. Just getting started on YouTube. many more videos to come, especially once we take this thing on the road, which I cannot wait. I'm going to finish some shower stuff today and also hook up some more electrical stuff. So anyway, if you got questions, leave them in the comments below, guys. See you on the next video. See ya.
Coming up next.
All right, well.